I'm using XPS foam to make these little bricks. I'm just using some scrap foam that I've got left over. I've just cut it to the thickness that I think it's good enough for the bricks the size I roughly want them. I'm going to measure up my my length and width with just a popsicle stick or a paddle pop stick. That way I don't have to measure anything. Marking nice and lightly as I go. A little bit left over, that's alright, I'll chop it off. Just going to use a craft knife to very gently score down as I go so I don't end up tearing the foam when I cut it. You use a hot wire for this, it'd be a lot quicker and easier. Each piece I'm going to give it a sand. I'm sanding it because when you cut it or use a hot wire on it, it's quite shiny. I'm just sanding that shiny surface off it so it'll make it nice and fluffy. And then when I paint it, the paint will absorb into it. It won't be resistant to it. It's more plasticky when you leave it straight cut and hot wire cut. Just got a small handful of them, it's enough for a good example. I'm doing two sizes of bricks. This is the one I'm going to be showing you because it's bigger and just a bit easier to see. The other one's really tiny. Be great for very small scale scattered terrain and dioramas and that sort of thing. For this one though, the bigger one, which is easier to see, I'm going to use a cotton bud or I don't know what Americans call them, a Q-tip. I'm using a knife to cut the end of it off because if you use scissors, you're going to ruin that nice round shape that it's got and you don't want to do that. Just going to insert it in there relatively gently. I don't want to push too hard because I don't want to tear it. And that's another reason why I sanded it, because if you don't sort of break the tension on the surface, you can tear around the hole when you're pressing into it. You can do it a bit harder once you've marked them all out. Just going to put a line in between where I'm going to cut it and then put some more holes in. I'm kind of doing it at an odd angle so I can allow you to see it without any shadows falling on it, but it was easier to lay it down and then just pop the holes in really quickly and easily. You can do them really deep or you can have them shallow or push them all the way through, which is not quite so easy on these bigger ones. A little bit at the end that's spare there, I'm going to turn it into just a nice piece of a broken brick. I wouldn't use any heating tools to make these holes. I think you'd have a really hard time of it. But this works well enough. Nice little broken piece. I love these little broken pieces. They look so good. They've got a really nice, realistic, organic look about them, like just broken debris. Just cut them off nice and gently and that's all the hard work done. I wouldn't call it hard work though. Gee, you can make an awful lot of these in a very short period of time. They look really good. Really nice. So easy. And these are the itty bitty ones. They are extremely similar to making the big ones, though you could probably make a lot more of these a lot quicker. I just used a coffee stirrer for the dimensions on this one. I find coffee stirrers and popsicle sticks seem to scale, and for a smaller scale hole I used a toothpick, which I cut the same way as the cotton buds, so it had a nice round end on it that would go straight through. You can see they pop out on these thinner ones, so you can have them with the holes going all the way through, or you can just have them semi-way through, either way you like them. And then just mark them. It's a bit crude. I mean, I just made this up as I went under the camera, so it wasn't perfected before I did the video. But because they're so easy, you don't really need to practice this kind of thing. That's them really tiny. They look great. After all that cutting, they're still a little bit smooth, so I'm just going to rough them up a bit with a bit of foil. Can't see it very well under the camera, but they are really nicely textured. Quite rough, and it rounds the edges down just a little tiny bit too. And you could roll them around in a jar with foil, or I wouldn't use rocks. I think they might be a little bit much on these, but you might want them really damaged. These broken ones are the best. I love them. time to give them a bath in a jar of just some brown, black and red paint with quite a bit of water in it, so it'll soak in, hence the fluffing up of the sanding. Now it'll absorb a bit like a sponge. Give it a good stir. I took it over the kitchen sink, put the lid on tightly and shook the daylights out of it because I want it to get into all those little holes. So you need to make sure you give it a really good agitation. Let it soak for about 10 minutes and then I poured them out. It looks like cereal. Bricks, just like a chocolate milkshake, only foamy. Speaking of foamy, they do get quite foamy when you really agitate it. You can see it's probably sort of built up around it and the holes are a little bit filled in because of all the tiny air bubbles in there. But that's okay, they all disappear when the brick's dry. Now they're all lovely and dry, I'm going to give them another coat of paint. You can see they're really well coated in every tiny nook and cranny. When I'm drying my pieces of work, I put them onto surfaces like this, being plastic. These little trays are great because they're kind of latticed and they work as drainage for the paint to run into. But more importantly, they're made of plastic. When you put down your small pieces of work onto plastic, it will not adhere to it. If you haven't got plastic, use something as similar as possible. This piece of cardboard's nice and shiny and plasticky. You could put it onto that, but make sure that it's not going to stick to the surface because when the paint dries, it'll adhere to it and you'll tear it off and then your foam will be exposed and the other part will be attached to the surface of if you put on, cardboard or something. So use plastic. I'm going to use this just really basic acrylic paint. It's like a terracotta kind of brick colour. Smear it everywhere. It's not just the quickest way to paint, it's the most natural kind of way to do it. So I haven't got brush strokes everywhere and all that mucking around with a paintbrush. Plus it's slightly inconsistent, which is nice. It gives it a far more natural look with that nice brown underneath coming through in different places. But more than anything, it's really quick and easy. Gives it a really nice natural look. It really gives it texture on the surface as well. As my hand pulls away, it kind of sticks and pulls it up in tiny little places. A little bit of a dry brush. That's a little bit heavy, but that's all right. Really like these broken ones. Lots of shadow in there. It looks really nice. I was surprised at how much these came out looking actually like a brick material. They look terrific. They don't look like lightweight foam. They look incredibly realistic. They look amazing on diorama. I will be saving these to put them on something eventually, sometime. Just scatter terrain even. They're just so good. I really like them. Very happy how easy and how quick they were to make. The detail on these bigger ones is far greater than it is on the smaller ones, but I didn't really muck around with the little ones too much because I don't know if I'd ever use something on that scale quite so small. I'd be far more inclined to use these ones, but you can see the little ones, they look good, but you could give them the same amount of effort and detail, I have absolutely no doubt. They look really good too, they really do, they're so tiny. They all came out fantastic looking. I'm very, very pleased. I had quite a bit of fun making these. I hope you enjoyed this too, and I hope you got something from it, and I do hope to see you next time.